Hello, I'm Lori Ann Lumbee with Soul School, and this is Soul Lessons. These are short 5 to 10 minute videos on different topics related to knowledge of our soul, healing for our soul's development, and soul's unfolding. In this video, I want to share with you a practice that is called Tonglen, and that's spelled Tonglen. Tonglen is a mindfulness, breathing, transformational practice that was brought to us by the Tibetan Buddhists. Tonglen directly confronts our number one human fear, or I should say number one human instinct. And that instinct is to run away from those things that cause us fear or discomfort, to run away from our woundedness, to try to bypass our compulsions, our defense mechanisms, ultimately to avoid discomfort. Instead, Tonglen says, welcome it, bring it in, be with it. For it is only in being present to and utilizing effective practices for transformation that our discomfort can turn into pleasure. Our discomfort can turn into ease or peacefulness. And ultimately, the wounds that we have accumulated over the course of our lives can piece by piece by piece be healed, transformed, and whittled down so that they are no longer a trigger in our life. So Tonglen says, welcome the discomfort. And it goes like this. Tonglen begins by identifying that we are uncomfortable, that we're feeling anxiety or fear or grief or resentment or rage or hatred. Tonglen begins with awareness. What are we feeling that we don't like and that we want to get away from? Or maybe we're used to the feeling. I'm a recovering resentment addict. Maybe we're addicted to the feeling of victimhood or martyrdom. Tonglen says, identify the feelings you don't like and identify the feelings that you know are not healthy. Tonglen begins with identification. The second step is to do a body scan, because our bodies, our physical bodies, remember everything. Everything that we've experienced in our lives is housed somewhere in our physical being. And that is true for our emotions, our defense mechanisms, our compulsions, our past woundedness. So identify the feeling, then close your eyes, and starting at the top of your head and moving down to the bottom of your feet, ask yourself, where am I feeling this feeling? Now, in order to locate it in your body, you need to be feeling the feeling. So let's say, for example, that you're working on loneliness, that you're working on transforming that feeling or that addiction to the feeling of loneliness so that you can be free of the compulsions that arise out of that state of loneliness. So allow yourself to feel the feeling and then locate where in your body it's resting. Is it resting in the center of your heart? Is it resting in your solar plexus? Is it hanging out on your left shoulder or your right knee? Is it housed in your ankles? Close your eyes, feel the feeling, and identify where it is in your body. Now that you've identified the feeling and located its presence in your body, now you enter into the Tonglen practice. So with your eyes closed, you're going to breathe into that place of constriction. You're going to breathe into the feeling while feeling it. You're going to breathe into the place in your body where that feeling is resting. Feel the feeling. Breathe into it. So taking an inward breath, breathing into, feeling, locating that experience. And then breathe out love. Breathing into while feeling the feeling, and breathe out love. And if you find it helpful to give love an image, then do so. Maybe the image of love is a heart or a balloon or a flower. Breathing into the pain or discomfort while feeling it, breathing out love. Breathing into the pain while feeling it, breathing out love. You stay with that practice of breathing in and into and breathing out love until you feel a shift. The shift can feel like a lot of different things. You might find yourself brought to tears. You might see that that feeling is moving. Maybe it's not where you originally located it, but it's moved deeper, lower into your body. Maybe you begin to feel a lessening of that feeling and the beginnings of peace. Once you feel that shift, you're done. You're done with that practice for the day. The beauty of doing a Tonglen practice is that you can do it one of two ways, and I recommend doing both. The first is what I call foundational. The foundational would be a daily practice around a specific intention. So we'll go back to that feeling of loneliness. Perhaps you set aside a 30-day practice for loneliness. Every day, first thing in the morning, or at whatever time works for you, you do Tonglen around that feeling of loneliness. Do it every day for 5 minutes until the time set aside is over, or until you feel free of that loneliness. The second approach to Tonglen is what I call the symptomatic approach. The symptomatic approach takes place when you find your feeling triggered. So let's go back to loneliness again. You're going about your day, you have a conversation with someone and it triggers your feeling of loneliness. Or you're home alone on a Friday night and you're beginning to feel lonely and you're reaching for that third glass of wine and you know maybe you shouldn't. That's the time to do that symptomatic practice of loneliness. Recognize that you're feeling lonely, locate where it is in your body, and do that Tonglen practice of breathing into the pain, breathing out love, until you feel that loneliness shift. This two-pronged approach to Tonglen has a transformational and lifelong impact on our wounds. It heals our wounds at the source, and it prevents those wounds from getting more deeply embedded within us. Using Tonglen in a foundational practice around wanting to rid yourself of a certain uncomfortable negative feeling or experience. And number 2, reaching for Tonglen when you feel that feeling triggered. Tonglen can be used for anything: loneliness, fear, anxiety, depression, rage, resentment, terror, jealousy, guilt, shame, regret. Tonglen is one of the most effective practices that I have found for truly changing our woundedness, for freeing us of our past wounds and preventing new ones from taking hold. As we maintain a Tonglen practice, we find that we are freer, happier, and less burdened by the wounds that previously would trigger us, causing us to react in ways that are non-loving towards ourselves or non-loving towards others. I'm Lorianne Lumbee, and this is Soul Lessons. If you found this video to be helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. And if you are interested in learning more about the programs and services I offer at Soul School, please check out my website, www.loriannlumbee.com. Thank you.